Do you ever face fatigue or burnout after learning something new? It's me, Jimmy. So the question is that I'm a subscriber of yours and was wondering if you ever suffer study burnout. I have recently begun my study for web dev development and then have remained disciplined. With my initial study plan routine, it seems I have hit a wall and then I am burning out with the following symptoms: headache, stress, anxiety, depression, confusion, extremely fatigued. I work full time and have a 8 months old child and study at least 4 hours a day, 10 to 12 hours on my days off. Do you have any advice? The number one thing you are saying, that the symptom which I'm seeing is that headache, stress, and fatigue. If you don't know, fatigue is that you feel very tired. I mean, you wanna sleep, your body feel tired, your brain. It happened with me a lot. Before answering your question, let me, tell you a backstory. In my hard days when I was fired from my job, I called my friend and asked me, give me whatever the hell you have because I need to pay off the bills. I get a job as a security guard. It's like 4 5 year old story. I'm telling you. But at that job, I was a bloody full-time security guard. But at the job, 1 hour lunch, I study. I work 12 hour a shift. 1 hour for computing. Commuting is not computing. Commuting, which basically means going to the job, going back to the job. It's like 14-hour job for me. So I work nearly 14 hours a day. 12 hour, 2 hours for the computing. So it's like 14 hours. And then when I go home, I spend like at least 2 hours to 4 hours. At that time, I'm talking about that time. Not now. Now I can spend 10 hours. It doesn't really matter to learn something. But I was hitting the wall. At that time, I tried to figure it out. What is going wrong with me? The number one thing I found is that sleep. And human at least needs 7.5 hours to 8 hours. Again, it depends on your body stamina. What kind of your sleeping habits are. 7.5 hours is the minimum. Try to get. It doesn't mean that you slept at bed like 10 p.m. and then you are going to wake up at like 6:30 or 5:30. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about pure sleep. Sometimes we lay down on the bed at 10 p.m. but we fall asleep at 1 p.m. in the morning or 12 or 11. I'm counting that time pure sleep when your eyes are closed and then you have no sense what is around you. You are falling in a sleep. That is called pure sleep. So you at least need 7.5 hours, and then it really happen with a lot of hard worker who are trying to learn something. So I will say, number one thing, you need to relax. At that time, the thing I did, relax. I just try to how to say, cut some of my time. So you're spending 4 hours, I will say spend like 2 hours. Now when you're hitting the fatigue line, try to spend 2 hours. Try to sleep more. When you will be recovered in 1 week, I can get back to 4 hour track. So number one thing you need to remember, try to sleep more. Try to sleep more. Learn 2 hours a day. When you think that you are going to back on in the game with the 4 hours a day minimum, start 4 hours again. Learning, because in learning is a process. Is that you're learning a lot of stuff. Some stuff is not understanding, some stuff is not running. Building something is different. In building you have a different kind of fatigue. In learning you have fatigue, depression, stress, anxiety, that kind of stuff. So try to sleep more. Learn 2 hours a day on your weekend. Spend like 5 hours a day on Sunday. Don't spend 12 hours a day. But when you are fully recovered, again jump. But I will say on Sunday you need to spend do not spend more than 8 hours. Try to go out. Try to I mean, try to go out and some kind of walk. Another thing is that try to sleep early and wake up early. So the number one thing I'm going to say is that do not try to learn at night. Try to learn at morning. If you don't know, I'm a Muslim, so I need to pray like 5 a.m. in the morning. I have a habit of getting up 5 a.m. in the morning. But when I was learning out, I sleep at 8 p.m. at night. So what I can suggest you is that try to sleep at 8 p.m. in the night. When you are slept by 8 p.m., you can easily wake up the next day at 3 a.m. When you wake up 3 a.m. or 3:30, you need to make a schedule. It's 3 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. in the morning. At that time, just wake up, have a cup of coffee, or you wanna take a shower. Just take a quick 15-minute shower, and then have a cup of coffee, and then start coding. Start learning for next 3 to 4 hours. Most probably you are going to leave your home like 7 a.m. in the morning for a job. I'm assuming that is the way how I learn. I spent early 3 hours in the morning. I started learning web programming 3 a.m. I'm talking about when I hit the fatigue wall and I try to change my habits. So, personal opinion, in the morning when you learn something and then you go to your job, you are not going to face the fatigue. After working hard, like a 10-hour shift, going back home and again learning, you will definitely face the fatigue. And then try to drink more water. Try to, again I will say, cut some learning hours from it. Try to learn in the morning. Sleep at least 7.5 hours to 8 hours. I hope that answered the question. If any question, why not email me at gmageek@gmail.com. It's me, Gmageek. Bye.